So it's extremely easy to randomly list out a bunch of the latest specs such as the Snapdragon 805 CPU, Adreno 420 GPU, a 2K display, 3GB of RAM and so on, but then that would just be a random general Android wish list. But to be more specific, this is my wish list for the Nexus 6. First of all, we have what bothered me the most about the Nexus 5, and that's the speaker. So it's a single mono speaker at the bottom of the device, and as fast and as snappy as the Nexus 5 was and currently is, the speaker is just horrible, plain horrible, and there's no excuse for it. Music and audio just sounds distorted and muffled, and it basically sounds like you're watching a YouTube video in 240p all the time, and I'm not even kidding. I definitely want to see an improvement with this on the Nexus 6, and I mean I'm not expecting it to be like the HTC One with front-facing boom sound speakers that makes all the other smartphones seem inferior, but at least I'd like to see some sort of improvement over the current Nexus 5 speaker. Next on the list is a better camera, and not specifically hardware, since the Nexus 5 actually has a pretty good 8-megapixel camera made by Sony, and there are a lot of other smartphones that has the same exact sensor and produce much better quality images than the Nexus 5. And this is due to the processing being done by the image with stock Android. For example, if you compare the images taken on an HTC One running Sense with those taken on an HTC One running a Google Play Edition ROM, you'd see a huge difference, and I actually noticed this myself when I flashed a Sense-based ROM on my HTC One after running Google Play Edition for a while, obviously, and I noticed a huge improvement in the camera. I noticed better depth of field, better lighting, especially in low light, better focus, better color reproduction, basically an overall much better image than the HTC One when it was running the Google Play Edition ROM. With the last major camera update we got from Google, we had a major overhaul in the UI itself and the features of the camera and the animations and actual look and feel of it. However, it had absolutely nothing whatsoever to help with the image processing side of things. So hopefully with Android L coming out soon, we'd see much more attention being paid to this image processing department. Hopefully. Ever since we've known the Nexus line, the basic offerings were 16 and 32GB models. The 16GB model usually went for around $349, and it's definitely understandable we get a flagship phone for a fraction of the cost. However, with phones like the OnePlus One coming out now, giving us 64GB of onboard storage for the same $349, it definitely won't hurt if Google decides to step up its game this time around. Following the trend of the Nexus line and keeping costs down, I don't expect to see Google giving us a 64GB Nexus 6 for $349, but I mean, I'd definitely be pleased to see the 16GB model be replaced with a 32GB model for the same price, while the 32GB model is replaced with a 64GB model. This would give us a 32GB model Nexus 6 for $349. I think it's about time they start phasing out the 16GB options, since more than likely with the Nexus 6 we'll see 4K video recording, so that will take up a lot of space. Most of us have 1080p movies on our phones now, and 16GB gets eaten through really fast. It's basically nothing to have right now, and it's even worse that we have no expandable storage, so I think the minimum should be 32GB for every single device on the market right now, period. I've been using the Nexus 5 as my daily driver for a while now, and the size is pretty much perfect for me personally. So at 5 inches I can reach the 4 corners of the display comfortably. However, there's been a lot of leaks saying that the Nexus 6 can either be 5.2 inches or a whopping 5.9 inches, and I'm really hoping it's not the latter, since I think after 5 inches it starts getting uncomfortable for the average user. However, if Google could take some hints from the LG G3 and fit a 5.2-inch display inside a phone the size of the Nexus 5 or even smaller, that would be pretty awesome, and I'd definitely be looking forward to that. Initially I was hoping for a 2K display, but after I thought about it for a while, it might impact graphics negatively, and it would send the cost up having to compensate with the graphics chip to run that 2K display properly. So for now I'll settle for the 1080p screen and maybe wait for the next time around to have a 2K or higher display from the Nexus line. Something I've heard a lot of people complaining about is battery life on the Nexus, especially the Nexus 5. And personally, I've had no problems with my Nexus 5 on battery life. At some point in time, I actually had a battery drain with a bad app I installed, and I was still getting approximately 3 hours screen on time with 17 to 18 hours standby time. And that was okay for me. With Android L coming up, we have Project Volta, which is aimed at increasing our battery life, so I think we'd see a drastic improvement with battery life on Android L. However, with that said, no one can deny a bigger battery, so I definitely look forward to a bigger battery in the Nexus 6. So that's about it for my wishlist, guys. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what's your wishlist for the Nexus 6. And also, feel free to like this video and hit subscribe if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of our future videos. And don't forget to share it around, let everyone see this video and leave their thoughts below too. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.